Tuesdays on the station as Albert Breer's days, as always. And so we'll talk to Albert. I really just want to pick his brain, see where he's at after with the entire Shedeur discourse. But his co-host on the podcast that he does, Daryl, his name is Connor Orr. We like Connor. I think Connor does good work is the point here. But he had these thoughts on Shedeur in the game on Sunday, and I want to see if they line up for you. This courtesy of the MMQB.
I thought that the game plan was hilarious. The reason why is at every instance, Shedeur tried to take the governor switch off the car and to push the throttle all the way to 90. I think that's exactly what Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees didn't want to happen. The Browns' confidence in Shedeur can be defined by this. Every time they got into the red zone, it was Wildcat, and he wasn't on the field, okay? They punted from the opponent's 27-yard line. Ross Tucker even said at the booth, he goes, I've never seen this before in my entire life. I mean, that's how bad the Raiders' offense was, to be fair, and you're sort of playing within the flow of the game there. But it was check the ball down, don't make any mistakes. And still, Shedeur would pull the ball, roll out, and fling it deep every chance that he got. And it's unfair of me to say that I don't see it. He clearly has talent, but I think that he's got to learn how to play in an orchestra first. And I think that there was a push and pull there that didn't sit quite well with him.
Daryl, why is it that it felt like I did we watch a different game than Connor Orr did? That felt like the evaluation at the end I didn't hate, but the whole, took the governor off himself, who was looking to throw the ball deep every time. I don't know. I didn't see it that way. How did you see it?
Shedeur did try and throw it deep a couple of times. And good. A couple times, which, by the way, we're encouraging of that. Right. But no part of the game felt like he was constantly rolling out and then trying to throw the ball deep, and that was it, though. I didn't get that vibe at all. I'll hear the red zone. The fact, that's true. They took him off the field. They put the extra lineman in there for Quinshon on the direct snap.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and criticize something that was successful.
No, it worked. Yeah.
It worked multiple times. It worked twice. Inside the 5, and it worked in another situation too where they lined him up and he was able to get, I think, 5-6 yards on the play. So I'll grant you the taking Shedeur off in that particular situation. He hits the big bomb to Isaiah Bond, he comes off, they do the direct snap, they score the touchdown. I'm not going to sit here and criticize stuff that worked. It worked.
Well, I don't even know that Connor was criticizing necessarily. I think that was just his observations.
He's using that as an indictment against Shedeur.
Oh, okay.
The fact that they took him off the field in that quote-unquote critical situation inside the 5-yard line to do the direct snap Wildcat stuff with Quinshon, but it worked.
I guess I wasn't as focused as much on that part of the clip. I was more focused on the idea of whether or not Shedeur went rogue. And 216-474-0092, your impression on this, well, I do think he didn't just go and do what Dylan did and what Joe Flacco did, where it felt like they were wearing these golden handcuffs and they were just kind of, all right, that's what you want out of the offense, let's do that.
I don't feel like they were nursing him. And that's the other part of this. I don't feel like that they were trying to nurse him and give him a bunch of check down plays and things like that.
Yeah, that's where I agree with you on this, and I disagree with Connor. It didn't feel like it was a bunch of bubble screens. Yeah, there was a couple, and yes, he made a couple of them work and worked really well. And did he throw the ball deep? Yes, he did at times.
And by the way, Dylan Gabriel couldn't throw the bubble screen. It went into the Jets bench. Meanwhile, Shedeur throws it, and it's a 6-yard touchdown. Well, yeah. What are we doing here?
Even the play to Cedric Tillman where Tillman just stopped and you could tell Cedric Tillman was not ready for that pass.
Right.
That is in many ways something that Shedeur offered up that Dylan wasn't able to. I guess I look at that, if he's trying to use that as a slight, I look at that more of a feature than it is a bug. And so maybe that's where I'm just off with Connor Orr's assessment.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's Shedeur's game, is throwing the ball vertical down the field. Well, by the way, last time I checked, that's a good thing for a quarterback. That is a great trait to have as a quarterback. Now, you got to be smart with it. Okay, you can't get careless.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Shedeur got careless with it. The issue that I have with his argument or his stance of saying that, Shedeur went rogue or what, no. One throw was a deliberate throwaway deep down the field. That was a clear throwaway.
Yeah.
No problem with that. You had the 52-yarder to Isaiah Bond that set up a touchdown. Okay, if you want to say they took him off the field because they didn't trust... Okay, it was his first NFL start. It had 3 practices and a couple of walkthroughs leading up to that. Fine, but it worked. They scored points. It's not like the Browns' offense went in the tank because they had to do that.
Right.
So, the game plan worked. What
part of that is hysterical?
Yeah. What's funny about that? That the Browns actually did something positive? I mean, I realize my demented sense of humor that I have. Mm-hmm. I find a little humor in that. Hey, what do you know? The Browns did something right. But a boom, like, really happens, right?
But a boom. Tip your waitresses.
Right. I mean, but it worked. Like, and by the way, when you're dealing with a young player, yeah, you're going to handle them with some kid gloves. You're mad that it took him this long to start Shedeur.
I am mad. We talked about that first hour.
Right.
And I think a lot of fans are mad that it took him this long to start Shedeur.
But that's part of the process here. Now I'm interested to see what the game plan looks like against San Francisco and what they ask him to do, what they trust him to do.
Well, so anytime he throws the ball deep, though, is it just, are you looking at this and saying to yourself, oh, he threw the ball deep to Isaiah Bond? Clearly, that's Shedeur going off script. That's Shedeur doing something that the offense isn't really wanting him to do. I think that's the insinuation that Connor's trying to get at there. And he did it a couple times, and it worked. It was a good play. Obviously, it was a good play. It was a great play.
Deep to Jerry Jeudy. Unfortunately, Jerry fumbled the ball.
And I thought these are the type of things that Shedeur had to do, by the way. I would have been pissed if all he did was do a bunch of checkdowns. If he had
if he ran the Dillon Gabriel offense?
Yes, if he had looked like Dillon Gabriel, I would have left Sunday being like, who stole Shedeur's talents? The Monstars came down. Who stole his talents and what'd you do with them? Because I know that's not how he plays. Yeah. Like part of the appeal to Shedeur and part of the fun of Shedeur is that he can use his creative imagination on the football field and make things happen, make plays that seemingly shouldn't happen appear out of nowhere like a magician. And so there's a part of me that when I hear commentary like that and I hear Connor Orr trying to make it seem almost like it's laughable what the game plan was, it's like, we take it for whatever it's worth.
They scored 24 points.
I guess, you know what I want?
They scored 24 points in a game just once this year prior to Sunday.
Here's what I need, Daryl. I need every national pundit that's going to do commentary on Shedeur Sanders and like do this whole discourse. I need every one of them to go back and watch the 6 games of Dillon Gabriel. Like before, like this should be, you know how like for like a driver's test, for instance, you gotta like pass the test and you got to go through and can you do this right? Can you whatever? You know, it's any test you've ever done in life. I need you. The requirements to talk about Shedeur Sanders is you must watch the 6 weeks prior of Dillon Gabriel.
No, you know what they need to do? We need someone to cut the plays. So someone actually did this. Where the screen pass to the Jets that got thrown into the bench by Dillon Gabriel. They were trying to set up the bubble screen.
I've seen
there were four guys in front.
Yeah.
Right. And then they put Shedeur's pass.
Oh, McNeil did that. Reflog.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. And it always is him. We don't even have to guess, but it always is him.
So here's what we need. We need that for like every play they ran Sunday. Here's Dillon Gabriel running that play. And then here's the successful play run by Shedeur Sanders.
No, I need like a Clockwork Orange, your eyes wide open, and I need to have all these national pundits watch 6 weeks worth of games of Dillon Gabriel and watch him throw, and then watch Shedeur Sanders, and maybe, just maybe, you won't come after us with but his QBR. All these pundits laugh at QBR. All they do is laugh at QBR for years.
Here's the thing.
About it's not a real stat. Now all of a sudden it's a real stat?
Here's what happens.
Guys. All right.
And look.
ESPN made it up. It's not a real stat.
We're all busy. We all have a lot on our plate in this business, okay? But here's what happens sometimes. You have people whose jobs it is to, and I'm not saying this is what Connor did. I want to be very clear about that. I'm speaking in complete generalities here. But you have people that have national platforms running their mouths that have no idea what's going on in the building. They don't talk to anyone in the building, but they got a hot take. They don't watch the games. They look at the box score. Mm-hmm. Or the
box score jockeys.
The producer tells them here's a couple of cliff notes from this particular game, right? And then they go viral for whatever it is they have to say about a situation that they have no knowledge of, really, or they haven't watched it. Or the first time they're watching it is when they're running the B-roll.
Yeah, and so much of this...
And that happens so much in our business today, and it's unfortunate because I think it skews the discourse quite a bit. And we end up in arguments like we have over certain things. But like, I just, if you watch 6 weeks of Dillon Gabriel, and then you watch and again, I'm not sitting here saying that was an NFL Hall of Fame performance debut, whatever you want to call it, from Shedeur. It was an average performance. He threw for 209 yards. But the bottom line is they won the game. They won it comfortably. He didn't cost them the game. He made one critical mistake.
And the offense looks different is the point.
The offense looked different. The energy on the sideline looks different. People all of a sudden look engaged. Okay? Like, it's a completely different dynamic with him on the field. And now you have the tangible threat that, he's going to throw it over your head.
Yeah.
And hopefully the Browns have a receiver or two that can actually run down the field.
Well, that was one of the funniest things that Nathan told us yesterday was that idea that it's like, all right, Jerry Jeudy's got to pay attention, and he's got to make sure Sed Tillman's got to pay attention and make sure that they don't give up on any plays because the ball might go to them. It might actually go to them because Shedeur he's going to do what Shedeur does. He's going to try to find an open guy down the field. He's going to try to stretch the field.
I got news for you. Quarterbacks go rogue all the time. That's in their job description. It's what they have to do.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Plays rarely work out the way they are specifically scripted on paper. It rarely happens. Going rogue is what quarterbacks do. It's whether or not when you're going rogue, you can turn them into big plays and you can be successful. And on Sunday, Shedeur did.
He did.
What are we complaining about?